Hey there, it's Jeannie, Blaha. Take a walk with you and joyflames.com. I love this question because we don't want to be messing with other people's free will, right? I mean, that's unless you're in an ego place, or any of us are in a strictly ego place, we wouldn't want to be messing around with other people's free will choices and decisions for what is best for them. Now, this can get a little tricky because you might have had times when you thought somebody should be acting a certain way towards you, or treating you a certain way, or being with you in a certain way. And again, that can be our ego saying that person should be showing up for me like this because I want it like that. Not instead accepting where he or she might be in their own journey, in their own free will passages of everything that they're doing, and deciding that what's you want, it should be best for them too. No, that's still ego. So on that note, this question as far as the quantum leaping goes, so when you're quantum leaping and you're jumping into this essential self state, you are going to be meeting with other people's essential selves as well. You're not meeting with their personalities, you're not meeting with their addictions, their resistance, their lack, their limitation, because if you're jumping into the quantum, that's gone, that's only here on Earth planet. So what you can know is when you are jumping in your quantum leaps and you're asking for somebody to show up in the quantum with you, essential self to essential self, then those answers, those messages, those solutions are arriving. And you can be sending messages or communicating with essential self of that other person, and it will land. It always lands. However, you are also going to find that you don't have a filter on it as far as coming from ego. Ego doesn't exist in the quantum. So you're not going to be coming from a place of, man, if he had really called me when he said he was going to call me, I wouldn't be this mad. And so I'm going to talk to him about it in the quantum and tell him off. I'm going to fill his ear with that. Guess what? When you jump, that's going to be the furthest from your mind. You're not going to be thinking about that. You're going to be thinking, let me see if I can find a way to communicate with him that I didn't feel good about that. I'm going to see what his reaction or response is to that, or hers. And your essential selves will meet. You're going to get answers. You're going to receive messages about how best to be communicating between the two of you. Then all you have to do is take that, jump it back here. When you're doing this and you're sending this intentions and you're setting these messages out, they're landing. Oftentimes, what my client friends tell me is that when they jump back to the current reality, sometimes it isn't even a day. It's not even 24 hours, and something has gotten resolved. Even if there hasn't been, the two people haven't come together necessarily to talk on email or on the phone or whatever, text. They've actually communicated again in the quantum, and something feels at peace. Something it has gotten better, something's gotten lighter, something's gotten easier. Then the next couple days, those interactions are somehow different. They're more empowered. Neither one of the people feels like a victim of anything that's been happening or happened 10 years ago or whatever. And instead, there's been an evolution. The blocks were dropped, right? Because when you're jumping off these blocks, jumping into your desired reality, jumping off all that current reality stuff, and landing here, every single intention and thought and action, because you are really taking action when you jump in the quantum, all of that's landing. So if you're in a situation where you're thinking, how can I move this to a different place? How can I have this outcome be different? I didn't like that answer that I received for that meeting that I had today, and it doesn't feel good on any end. It's not win-win. What can I do? You jump to the quantum and you see all of that, the whole thing happening all over again as you would have loved to have experienced it, including all the people that were there. And you're talking to their essential self. Some of those people you won't even get to draw up, that you'll be like, well, that's weird. I can't see Frank. He's not there. I wonder what that means. It means their essential self is saying, no, not ready. Not ready. And that's when we have to, again, remind ourselves we're in the quantum, means no ego, and you accept and allow all this to be created up into that desired reality. Because his desired reality, Frank's desired reality, may be that he still wants strife. He still wants to be in struggle. He still wants to be at war with his life. And you know what? He gets to have that. Just as anybody does. Maybe there's another one that was at that meeting that you were like, God, what was her deal? Maybe she likes drama. Out in the quantum, you see like, oh wow, she likes drama. She likes to have that train going down that track and have to keep riding it and putting the wheels back up or whatever. And so, and acceptance is what happens. In the quantum, you'll be like, okay, I get it. Because imagine if we saw more where people are coming from, and then we're able to say, I get it, I accept that. I'm not in control of their free will. I'm not in control of where they want to go with this lifetime of their experiences. Well, from them, just as yours is on you. So jump all this back. That's what you're going to notice, the differences and everything that you're doing, because what happens to a lot of us? So what if we get into that mindset of like, that was awful, I can't believe it, and the ruminating starts, the dwelling starts, and it gets worse and worse. Pretty soon you have to go drinking, and you got to go, smoke some pot or take some pills or something so you feel better about the experience. Did the experience get better? No. So, and then what happens is you're just creating more towards what you don't like, what was not fun, what was not productive, what didn't lead to any kind of win-win situation. So that's where the quantum leaping takes you into this desire and reminds you of what is possible. Guess what? It's infinitely possible. Things can change on a dime. Things can change in a breath. So, but it's on us to hold that quantum space for that possibility, rather than staying in this current reality and going, that was gross and I can't stand it and I should just quit, I should just leave, and it just spirals itself down so that you're sitting in the frequency of 250 or 500, or, well, you could be 500, that's love. So it'd be 250 or less down the scale, where it's like, this is gross and I don't like my life anymore. Then how can you go here and help alter things, really alter a bunch of reality at the same time? And with that, I just want to add that there are situations that you're going to find that you feel that there's no way you can do anything about it. It cannot be changed, but you quantum leap anyway and say, that's okay. I can't change it here. This is out of my hands. I'm not even in the vicinity, or I'm not talking to that person. And you jump into the quantum and you just set your intentions really strongly, activate that energy towards that desired reality that you would love to see happen. And through the eyes of no ego and no lack, no limitation, no resistance, which is the quantum. And watch what happens when you set that, okay, let it go, yield it over, jump back, reminding yourself that you're going to jump that back into your now and see what happens. Because there can be situations where you could not get a point through, you couldn't get anybody to see something here in the current reality. There was no saying, do you realize how much you're suffering, how much you're allowing that hardship in, how much you talk lack and you talk limitation, and you're talking about how you're going to be sick next week, and then you are, and then you're surprised. All that stuff, all this stuff here where you get frustrated because you're like, it could be so much easier for them. They could be in so much more peace, more love, more joy. Out here in the quantum, that's where you direct the energy and the intention. Jump back here, bring it back here and here now, and then see the magic happen. Because guess what? Out here, no resistance. They're not going to defy you. Nobody's going to defy their joy, their essential self. They're not going to defy the peace. Here they do. Why? Deservedness, worthness. I've been terrible my whole life. I don't deserve to be in joy now. I really screwed up, or I was a failure, so I don't get to have money now. Or all of that stuff is in this current reality. It's not out in the quantum. So bringing it back here and reminding them in the quantum of the possibility, the infinite nature of themselves, that essential self, the original self, prior to any form, prior to anything that we did or didn't do, or wrong or right, or it doesn't even exist in the quantum. So then you jump back here and you just let it be. And maybe you won't have a conversation with such person, or you won't have an interaction, but guess what? You did have an impact, because this has an impact. The quantum, anything you do in the quantum, it's mighty. You'll see more and more of it as you go along. You'll go, there's no way that there's not something to this field. All right? Love you so much. This is Jeannie Blaha with TakeAWalkingDreams.com. The next time you see me, you'll be having a Montana back trip. How about that? All right. If you'd like, share this on if you got it. Thank you.